Hey guys, today I'm going to sit down and answer a few questions that you had on Facebook for me. I decided to break it up into two videos, that way if I start to ramble a little too much, you don't have to sit through a long video. I personally have spent a lot of my own time and money trying out so many products, whether they were drugstore or high-end, and not only have I used them on myself, I've used them on several of my clients. So I feel like I have a great working knowledge of what works for, several skin types, several skin textures, conditions, all of that fun stuff. So let's get started, and I hope that you find something today that you can take away and be happy to put your money towards. First question, I would like to know what eyelash curler you recommend. I use one daily and they are always breaking. I would try Tweezerman, or I have one by Sonia Kashuk. I think the important thing is that you make sure it fits your eye shape well. With the Tweezerman brand, it's more heavy duty. There's a little bit more weight to it, which is what you want. And just make sure that you are curling your lashes first and then putting mascara on. Don't put mascara on and curl your lashes. That's the quickest way to cause breakout and to cause breakage and lash fallout. So try that and hopefully you will have better luck. Next question. As you age, what is the best way to wear makeup and not look like a roadmap? Great question, because I think no matter what age you are, it's super important to always take great care of your skin. And I know it sounds obvious, but the more you really customize your skincare products towards what your skin needs, the better your skin is going to look. So if you're dry, you want to use a cleanser that's great for dry skin. If you have pigmentation marks, maybe you want to use a lightening serum. And I really think the more that you spend towards skincare, the happier you will be with any makeup purchase, because if you're exfoliating regularly and you're using the right products for your skin, you shouldn't have to spend a ton of money on foundation for your skin to look good. So try that and see how it works. And I would also recommend using a brush to put your foundation on to really blend it and buff it in, and going back in special areas where maybe you need extra coverage, and then that way you don't have to put it on all over. Next question. How about some tips on a simple at-home skincare regimen? For those of us that occasionally use a baby wipe for makeup removal, asking for a friend. I've gone over this in a few different posts. I will link those down below. The main thing is if you can't cleanse morning and night, at least do it at night before you go to bed so you don't sleep in your makeup. And then I also keep, I have a little glass jar that I keep this under my sink, and it just has washcloths in it. And I basically just make my own face wipes. So I will get that washcloth really hot, kind of like a steam towel, not too hot, and then I just drop a little bit of my cleanser on the washcloth, lather it really well, and then just kind of use it like you would a normal face wipe. And then you want to make sure that you rinse that as well. And then you don't have to spend that extra money on a face wipe. You don't have to feel guilty, if you're not using the right, if it's a baby wipe or whatever. So yeah, and then that way it's just, I think you're more likely to use it as well if it's right there and it's quick and it's super easy to grab. So try that. Next question. How about the best way to get a quick everyday look for the mother that may never leave her home, or if she does, it would be to go to the grocery store or Target potentially covered in baby puke? Disclaimer, I have splotchy dark spots, so no foundation isn't an option for every day. I love this question because I think it's super important to take care of yourself as much as you can while you are busy being a mom. And that's not to say that you have to take 30 minutes out of every day, or an hour or whatever. But I think you need to do what you need to do to feel good about yourself and confident and presentable. Because if you're a new mom or if you have several kids, it's so easy to put that on the back burner, and you can go half of your day without putting makeup on or brushing your hair or whatever. And I think if you start to just get into a routine where maybe you do it right after you brush your teeth in the morning, it kind of sets you up for that mindset that, you know, you're doing something for yourself so that you can, you know, still feel like you have maybe 10 minutes to yourself and, you know, give yourself a little bit of TLC. So the best tip I think for this is that you would want to go into a place like Sephora and find someone that works there and ask them if they can color match you for foundation. And you can, you know, kind of sit down with them and tell them, hey, I want a full coverage. I want to be able to cover this. You know, maybe you want an SPF in it, whatever your recommendations are. Sometimes people like BB creams. Everybody's different. And then also another option is to consider a cream foundation. Those are very heavy coverage-wise, but they cover well, and you could consider just putting it where you need it, and then, you know, like maybe if your forehead is super clear or whatever, you don't have to put anything there, and then that'll cut down on time too. And then another option that I loved when I first brought my son home is I would, you know, take 30 seconds out of my day at the end of the night and just throw on a little bit of self tanner. And I didn't put a ton on, so I could get away with just putting it on my face and kind of down my neck, you know, like where your shirt would show. And it was always great because if I didn't have time, you know, to put foundation on the next day, at least I had a little bit of color. And especially with post-baby hormones, post-delivery, all that stuff, sometimes your skin can kind of be thrown off. You know, there's a lot of different stuff that can go on. And with the self-tanner, it just kind of gives your skin that layer to whereas obviously it stays on better than a foundation, and it kind of just acts like a foundation on itself, and gives you that coverage. And then if you were to put foundation on top of that, it would almost be like double coverage because you've already got that base to start with. So yeah, that's a lot of tips, but I think it's important to feel good about yourself as a mom and feel presentable and, you know, like you are taking maybe 30 seconds for yourself. So good luck, and we will stop there.